Hey, congratulations to the Blue Jays for their win last night. Playoffs, here we come. Go, Jays, go. This morning, we have both encouraging news and tough news to share. First, the encouraging news. On the executive committee this morning, the first item is the annual Listening to Toronto survey. Torontonians have confidence the city provides the services they need so the quality of life is better. Let me give you an example. Giselle, a librarian from North York, discovered a high school student was passionate about fashion design. So Giselle spent hours training her at the fabrication studio, a place where people have access to sewing machines, vinyl printers, and other technology. And because of librarian Giselle, that student is now a successful fashion designer. Not only did she find a hobby, she built a career. Every year, more than 18.5 million people visit, in terms of number of times, visited Toronto Library, 99 locations, and they love the library. Through last year's budget, we have increased library hours and opened many more libraries on Sundays. A key finding of the Toronto survey is 3 out of 4 Torontonians have confidence the city provides the service they need, a 12% improvement from last year. 7 out of 10 Torontonians believe the quality of life has improved, a 5% increase from last year. We have accomplished so much together, and there's much more to do. We're building 25,000 more homes this year and next. The city stepped up and waived development charges and taxes to get more homes built. We kept the TDC fares the same for more than 2 years while improving services. We're adding 24/7 community crisis workers to the subways to make it safer. We invested in new subway cars, fixing the tracks, cleaning up the station, and speeding up the services. The Gardner Expressway rebuilt work is well ahead of schedule as we cut the construction time in half from 3 years to 18 months. We're building safer and stronger and more caring communities by investing in more people on the front line, including, here's the list, 70, sorry, pardon me, too much cheering last night for the Jays. 720 more police officers in the next 2 years as the first part of the 5 years hiring plan, 362 more paramedics and staff, 156 more firefighters over the past 3 years, 90 more 911 call takers, and 200 community crisis service workers. We're headed to the right direction, and Torontonians agree. But there's so much more work to do. The second item at the Executive Committee is phase 1 of the Quayside development, which will deliver 18,000, which is 1,800 rental homes, and 3 out of 10 of them with rent geared to the person's income. Half of these rental homes are large, spacious units designed so nurses, firefighters, or police officers, ordinary families can build a new family right here in Toronto. The City of Toronto is stepping up to build more affordable housing in this market downturn. Now, here's the tough news. To continue to provide services people need, the support of our partners at other levels of government is critical. The city is facing 2 funding cuts that threatens our ability to bring people off the streets, out of encampments, and into shelters and homes. We have been providing shelter to people who arrived to Toronto fleeing violence, war, and persecution, but now the federal government won't pay their bills for the service, and the city is short by $107 million. We can either stop sheltering refugees claimants, leave them on the street, which will make homelessness worse, reversing the progress we made on reducing the number of encampments, or Torontonians will have to pay for it through their property taxes. Neither is fair. So the government, the federal government, must fulfill its responsibility, which is taking care of refugees and refugees claimants. To make matters worse, the program that subsidizes some of the rent so the homeless folks can move into housing from shelter has been reduced to 8 million as compared to 38 million for 2024. The city is now short by 30 million. This is the Canada Ontario Housing Benefit, short form called COB. You've heard me mention it quite a few times. This means the single most effective tools to free up shelter spaces, to take people off the streets and into homes, are being undermined by other levels of government because they're not stepping up. So today, my message is clear. I'm going to the executive committee to ask our federal and provincial partners to step up, to partner with us, so we can help the people living in shelters, on the streets, in parks and ravines, and continue to bring them into a home, to build a caring city that we all deserve. You may have some questions? No? Okay. Go, Jace, go. Oh, okay. Oh, all right, Jamie, you do have questions. Say that again?
Executive committee does lay the groundwork for increases, possible increases in property taxes. Are you rolling that out, or are you going to increase property taxes?
Oh, you're talking about the IHAP program, the refugee shelter. I don't know. I haven't given up trying to persuade the federal government to step up. I believe they understand the problem. Now, we have a new Liberal government with a new Prime Minister, so there might have been some miscommunication. You saw what happened in 2023 in July May, June, July, where people were sleeping on street in front of Peter Street. We do not want a repeat of that because winter will, in a couple of months, arriving. It's now the fall. So we don't want to see people on the streets. We don't want to see more people in parks and ravines. We want to bring them in, and we've been doing that. But our reserve funds are depleted because that is the pot of money, because they haven't been paying their bills. We've been taking money from the reserve funds in order to continue the services to shelter these refugees claimants. So at some point, we are going to be dealing with the city's budget, next year's budget, and we're going to start the consultation very shortly. And we'll hear from the local residents as to what they want, what they see as their priority, and we will put the budget together.
You said that it's the difference between, allowing refugee claimants to be on the street or raising property taxes. Last year, I believe, it's called the federal impact levy, was about 6%. What percentage are we looking at now if both the province and the feds don't come through?
At least 2%, if not more. In terms of, because 48 to 49 million is 1%. We've been raiding our reserve funds to help out places like Romario Houses or Sojourn House, Matthew House. They do really good work. I've gone to visit them, and they have people that are in suits working, very proud of themselves. They've settled, and they come back to volunteer to help other refugees. It is the most encouraging things you see, that refugees coming, Syria, Sudan, within a year or so, they've established themselves, settled, have a good home, found a great job, and coming back. There was a street party that brought all the neighborhood, the streets, like people were welcoming them, like ordinary residents coming out in the streets saying, come. And it was just amazing sight. Every year, Romario House have something like that. And because they become friends, because they're neighbors. And I know Torontonians are generous, which is why we continue to support these people that face bloodshed and violence. They came to Canada to seek a better life, and they found it. We just need to give them a good start. So I've not given up. I know that both levels of government, including ours, all three levels of government, want to do the right thing, because Toronto and Canada has a history of settling newcomers, and we've done well because of it.
Mayor, the federal impacts obviously seem to work in 2023, but now we have a new government. Do you have any concerns that you might not be able to play that card again and have it work?
I don't want to play any card. It's not a card. It is people's lives. It is so important that we have, when the refugees arriving, some of them might be arriving from Gaza. In fact, I know they are. So they need a good start. Ukraine, look at what's happening in Ukraine. And I've met some of the families that came from Ukraine. I usually get a big hug because we've been settling them. They are doing well. The kids are going to school. They're learning good English. A lot of them already speak English. And they're doing so well. But they just need to find a place to stay when they land here in Toronto. So we need to step up. So I remain hopeful. The program is called Interim IHAP, Interim Housing Assistant Placement, whatever it is, a refugees placement shelter program. And we really need to have a good agreement so that we don't go through the same over and over every few years. We seem to have talking about the same thing. It's not a good way to govern. And one other thing is this. I just want to make one more point. You go into a restaurant, you eat a meal, or you purchase a new jacket, you're wearing it, you have to pay, right? We've delivered the service. Just now we need the payment.
Mayor, listening to Toronto survey,
yes.
The numbers are up slightly in a lot of categories, but the numbers are up
12% is more than slightly.
in a lot of the categories. It's just
Yeah, okay.
But
Yeah.
on the overall quality of life, it's almost 70%. But that means 30% of people in the city are not satisfied with the quality of life. So how do you
30%, yeah.
How do you capture that last 30%? What needs to be done?
Yeah. 7 out of 10 Torontonians believe their quality of life has improved, which is a 5% increase, right? And the other finding, 3 out of 4 Torontonians have confidence that the cities are delivering the services they need. It's a 12% improvement. So those two statistics tell you that we're on the right track. But by God, we're not doing it. There's so much more we need to do. Building more homes that people can afford is top of mind. Being able to lower the cost of living, which is why we're feeding children in schools, because it saved a family of 4 with 2 kids $880 per year. That's lower the cost of living. That's worth doing. We've not increased TDC fares for 2 years. Why? Because we want to keep it affordable. Even that is hard for some families, right? And young people often, university students often come to me and said, Mayor, we're working full-time job while we're going to university full-time. It's hard. So we can do more to make service more affordable. Like libraries are opening more hours. It's 100% free. So we're doing as much as we can. The sense of safety, even crime rates have gone down, but the sense of safety is not enough. So which is why we want to put in, we're just starting, the crisis service workers into TTC, so people are feeling safer, because even just yesterday, on a completely different event, I had someone said, describe an incident in the subway, right? I understand that fear. So if 3 out of 7 are feeling that the quality of life is not improved for them, there's more work we can do. And all of those that I talked about, building homes that people can afford, making their life more affordable, and fighting crimes, lowering crime rate, all of that is what we are focusing on.
Last question.
Hello, Jamie, again.
Over the years, in your term and Doug Ford's term, the relationship has been back and forth. Recently, we've seen
Oh.
Bike lanes go to court. We've seen speed cameras being pulled or unplugged. How would you describe?
Not yet.
Not yet, yes. And this question does come in from Alan Carter, who's anchoring tonight, can't be here. But anyhow, how do you describe the relationship with Doug Ford right now?
We work closely together because a lot of concerns, whether it's fighting crimes, building affordable homes, all of it are interconnected. So I'll give you the top of mind. I've been trying to persuade the premier to come on, do something so that we can build homes that people can afford, right? So what we did was we brought in a bit higher, the density increase, but I've been trying to persuade the premier that we need to lower the development charges, but the city fiscal room is pretty exhausted. We don't have enough room. So I've been working with the premier to say, let's look at ways to reduce the fees so that home builders can build. Because right now the market is frozen. We are still, you're seeing Quayside today are moving ahead. Shuffle is going to hit the ground on 1,800 rental units. Great. But we don't have enough money to do more, to cut more taxes, cut more development charges. So I've been working, saying to the premier, come work with us. So we have regular conversation, sharing ideas of what can be done. There are things we don't agree on, like speed cameras. But I think we both want to build more homes that people can afford, and we're just exploring ways on how to do it. Okay, thank you so much.